Hi, I'm Pratiti Seth from Tubapeng, and today I will be discussing on the text we have chosen, which is Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. Now, coming on to the author William Shakespeare, we all know that he was a great English playwright, a poet, and an actor, and most importantly, one of the greatest writers in the English language and world literature. His plays span genres such as tragedy, comedy, and history, with notable works like Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, Othello, Macbeth, and King Lear. He has written around 39 plays, 154 sonnets, and two narrative poems. Coming on to his text, Sonnet 18, we will be discussing a short summary and what he has written in his poem. So, Sonnet 18 was often titled as Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day? It is one of William Shakespeare's most famous and beloved sonnets. It is part of the Fair Youth sequence and explores themes of beauty, immortality, and the power of poetry. Now, giving you a short summary of this, in this sonnet, Shakespeare compares the beauty of his beloved to a summer's day. So, while summer can be too hot, too windy, or too cold, or too brief, the subject's beauty is described as more consistent and eternal. The poet asserts that the beloved's charm will never fade because it will be immortalized in the poem itself. Thus, through Shakespeare's verses, the beloved's beauty will live on for future generations. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Kritika Shri from Tubapang and today I'll be discussing about the analysis of form from the poem Sonnet 18 written by William Shakespeare. Sonnet 18 is considered to be one of the most famous Shakespearean sonnets which follows the traditional Shakespearean language consisting of 14 lines, a specific rhyme scheme and a rhythmic pattern. In this section, we will analyze its structure, rhyme scheme, meter, and literary devices, which enhances its meaning and beauty. Structure of Sonnet 18. Sonnet 18 is structured into three quatrains with 4 lines, followed by a final rhymed couplet. This structure allows Shakespeare to develop his argument step by step. The first quatrain introduces the main theme by comparing a beloved to a summer's day. The second quatrain highlights how natural beauty fades over time. The third quatrain shifts the focus, emphasizing that the beloved's beauty is internal. Finally, the couplet concludes the poem with a powerful statement. Poetry itself will make the beloved immortal. Now let's move on to the rhyme scheme. The poem follows the Shakespearean sonnet rhyme scheme A B A B C D C D E F E F and G G. Each quatrain has an alternating rhyme schemes while the final couplet provides a strong rhyming conclusion. Now let's talk about the iambic pentameter. Sonnet 18 follows iambic pentameter, which means each line has 10 syllables with 5 alternating unstressed and stressed beats. For example, in the line, Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? A natural rhythm follows a pattern which mimics natural speak, making the poem both musical and easy to memorize. Now let's move on to the literary devices. Shakespeare also uses variety of literary devices to enhance the poem structure. For example, enjambment, personification and alliteration. Now let's talk about its role. The structured form of Sonnet 18 plays a crucial role in conveying its message. The rhyme scheme and the meter create a rhythmic and a memorable flow, finally leaving a couplet which lasts a impression, reinforcing the idea that poetry grants immortality. Shakespeare masterfully uses form to emphasize the poem's central theme that the beloved's beauty will live on forever through his words. Shakespeare's sonnet is a perfect example of how form and content work together. The structured quatrains, rhythmic meter, and literary techniques create a powerful and a timeless piece of poetry. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Krishna Deepthi from Tuba Bank. In this part of the video, we will be looking at the analysis of the content. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Sounds like a love poem, right? Or at least a tribute to beauty. But what if I tell you that this poem is neither about love nor about beauty? It does play a huge role, but it doesn't mean that the poem revolves around only these both things. What if I tell you that this poem actually revolves around power? Yes. So now let's unwrap how power plays a crucial role in Shakespeare's Sonnet 18. During the initial stages of the poem, Shakespeare often compares the fair youth to nature related things, such as the sun, the summer, the wind. But after some time, he untrims all this and says that winds are too harsh, sun is sometimes dim, sometimes too bright. But there is only one thing which doesn't change or fade. What is it? His poetry, his lines, the only constant thing throughout everything. Later in the Volta, when a subtle shift happens, he entirely stops comparing everything to nature, but indirectly says that he doesn't glorify the nature, but rather he glorifies the words. He says that his poem or his poetry lines will outlive everything. And that can be well understood by the two lines in the couplet, that is, so long as men can breathe and eyes can see, so long lives this and gives life to thee. So beautiful. This is not a prediction, this is rather a challenge to time. And guess what? Shakespeare won this challenge very effortlessly because even after 400 years, we are still reading and analyzing this poem, which proves the point that this poem is the only thing which outlives everything. It's not the beauty. To conclude, Sonnet 18 is often considered as a love poem when in reality it is not. When in reality it is a poem about self immortalization through words. The fair youth that was once a subject in the poem faded. We don't know his name or his face, but rather the only thing that we know right now is Shakespeare and how well he has written it. The poem was not really about youth. Beauty fades, people die, but the only thing that remained was the words that Shakespeare wrote. And this also proves the last lines of the couplet, and we are a living proof for it because we are still writing, reading, and analyzing it. So, in the end, who really won? Is it the fair youth? No. Is it the nature? No. Is it Shakespeare? Yes. In the end, he was the one who won. I really hope that Sonnet 18 is very clear right now. And thank you so much for listening.